Hello. Just wanted to do a quick video on a couple of really awesome, totally versatile stamp sets that I'm loving. And I have to say, excuse me for the little summer cold, so sorry about that, but I didn't want to wait until I was totally over it to do this. So Dandelion Wishes is one of the stamp sets that we're going to be using, and then we're also going to use the Bokeh Dots in this stamp set, but it does actually come with a second little background stamp that looks kind of like the galaxy, kind of like fireworks or sparklers. I have lots of ideas for this one as well, so we'll be putting it to use, but just wanted to show you this really quick and crazy elegant card with these sets. So I've already got my Whisper White cardstock cut to 4 by 5 1/4, and I've done a couple versions. So I have the stamps that I'm using set in the StAmparatus, and I will tell you I did a couple different color versions of this card, and you do want to play just a minute and know if you want to do the bokeh background full strength per se or stamp off. So for this one I'm going to use the new soft seafoam. Love this color, just really beautiful, tranquil, pure color. And I'm setting that, make sure you can see, make sure I'm in the center here, but I'm setting that on top of the bokeh stamp, and then I'm not going to go around the edges a ton. I kind of like it to not have too much extra on the edges, and these new stamps that are photorealistic, they can kind of capture a little more ink if you take the ink pad all over. So I'm just putting a little pressure, and if you can see, here I'll pop this up and get it a little closer too. If you can see, there's more saturation of the ink in some portions of the stamp and less in others, and that's exactly what we're after. So hopefully I didn't wait too long, and we'll go ahead and see how that stamps. Very nice. Look at all that variation. It's just really, really pretty to me. And then I'm just flipping the plate on my StAmparatus, and I'm going to go ahead and use the same color, this soft sea foam, and do the greeting. I am going to re-ink it. I learned on my first, I didn't think that the first time through was quite enough color saturation for the sentiment to stand up from the background. So that's one of the joys with the StAmparatus. You know, give it a couple goes, get the saturation that you want, and know that you can repeatedly stamp these things and your placement's going to be perfect. So that's pretty good. The other thing you could do if you're not getting the contrast that you want is, bring the sentiment down and a little bit out. But there was just something I really liked about the stamps overlapping and kind of coming into the negative space just a little bit, but not too much. I just think it's a really elegant design. I cased it. I'll have to look up the name of the demonstrator that did a version of this, but I just thought it was brilliant. So we'll get the dandelion. How gorgeous. I just think that's too sweet. And again, I'm going to give it just a little more saturation of the same color so that it pops. I just love that. I just love that. And that's that for the card front. I do have another piece of Whisper White cut to 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm going to go ahead and put just a little bit in the corner for the inside. Probably have to move this out of the way. You know not to get those magnets too close or you'll be causing yourself some trouble. But I just think it's kind of sweet for sending well wishes your way. You know, if someone's had a surgery or they've been sick, you've got, you know, plenty of room to write a little greeting in here, but that just kind of ties everything together. And then let me set this aside so I don't get some ink anywhere I don't want it. And then I'm just gonna finish up. I've got a soft seafoam base, and I made the base just by taking 8.5 by 11 cardstock, cutting it half a sheet at 5.5, and then scoring it at 4 1/4. So that's ready to go. And I'm gonna put a little snail. I tend to go around the frame and down the middle just real quick, and have had really good luck with things staying put doing it that way. Hope I'm not leaning in too much here, but I like to make sure I get things lined up well. How pretty is that? Just clean and simple and just pretty. Elegant. And I'll go ahead and do the inside. Now the other thing I tend to do, I'll take either the corner of the dandelion or oh, those little guys, I did them for the top. They look kind of cute at the bottom too. I'll put them here. They kind of continue from the front of the card to the inside if I put them up here. See, like those little seed floats have continued through. The other thing I like to do is put a little touch on the envelopes. So here's one where I just use the same little dandelion seeds that are on the inside. I just think it's really nice when people get their mail. They are probably gonna know that something like this is not a bill. they're gonna smile when they see it. But there it is, just that fast, and only using, you know, Whisper White and one other color. In this case, it was soft seafoam. The original card that inspired it, she used the new gray granite, and again did a very similar card design. Now the gray granite I found to be too dark, so there are learning curves and not everything's perfect right out the bat, but I thought gray granite without stamping it off was too dark, and I tried to compensate for that by using black ink, but it's just not the same. And then I smudged it too, but I think this is just so much more effective overall. So, you know, you see these videos and they most often have everything figured out, but there's some trial and error. It doesn't always go together exactly as you imagined the first run. And speaking of kind of playing with things, I also did a couple versions using the new Balmy Blue. So this is Balmy Blue ink on the Balmy Blue cardstock, and I did stamp off to do this background with the bokeh dots, and then use the same Balmy Blue for the sentiment. And then in this case, I actually used Stampin' Write markers and colored a portion of the dandelion with, oh, in this case I might have used doing it over the Balmy Blue. I think I thought about how the colors would mix, and I think I used Lemon Lime Twist and literally colored on the stamp. And I want to say this was soft suede, and stamped that, and then used the Whisper White, the Craft White, and got that look. Did the same thing for the inside. And then for this one, I applied some color to the stem and the base of the seeds in the same way with the Stampin' Write markers. And then I used Versamark. And when I put the white embossing powder on the Versamark, I just took a little brush and removed a little bit of the embossing powder so that the colors would show through. So a little more time for that one, but all these looks are, you know, coming from the same starting point, and I had fun at every step along the way. So there's a quick look at the new Bokeh Dots stamp set with the photorealistic stamps and the Dandelion Wishes, which I have seen some really awesome versions for couples that are engaged or getting married with this Wishes for a Lifetime of Love and Happiness. And I have plans with a photograph of my now teenage son, but when he was a toddler, he was fascinated with blowing the dandelion seeds. And I have a fantastic photo of him where he got a little too close and they're all sticking to his cute little lips. So just really fun set. Thanks so much.